everyone, and welcome to Two Show Day. I'm your host, Diana Shabai Booker, and I am so excited about my guest today. He is an actor and movie enthusiast, and my friend, Aidan Thomas McKenna. Hi, Aidan.
Hi, Diana. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good. I have a bone to pick with you
that
I was saving for recording. And we've been talking for like 15 minutes, and I want to drop it on you now.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Is that you gave me so much hope that the Brutalist and Honora were going to split the vote and Conclave would win.
I know.
And I spent the whole 3.5-hour ceremony just sitting there like, and Honora. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah, once
great.
I went editing, it was like, oh,
yeah, it's over.
No.
It's over. But that's my only bone to pick with. Everything else is fine.
Okay, great. Perfect. Well, okay, so tell me how you got into the arts. We met doing a play, which we'll get into later, but we're going to talk about movies today. So where did that sort of love of that craft start?
Yeah, well, I've always had a really deep interest in movies, but like in the way that through the lens of character, right? That's kind of a lot of where my art has shown over the past few years, is that I like to be on stage and in front of the camera. Like I consider myself to be an actor, regardless of how often I do the acting at this point in my life. And so I'm always interested in character and character motivation and character psychology. And so that's kind of my in with movies, is that they're, the ones that are about characters and people. Like they are about characters and people that have vested interests and motivations that, like, I think can be super complex. And even if they're not super complex in the movie, it's really great to talk about them and consider them, like, in a broad sense and a narrow sense. So I've been, participating in and viewing art and being a part of art forever. Like, my mom is an artist. She's a visual artist, so she's done. Cool. So she's done for her whole life is painting and pottery. She was an art teacher for years and years. I grew for a love of illustration, and from there I got into like comic books. Love DC superheroes and Marvel superheroes to a lesser degree, but DC's more my bag. Spent a lot of time on stage as well. So, like, ever since elementary school up until college and beyond, like, I've been at least one show a year ever since I was like 11 or 10. Yeah. Do
you remember what your first show was?
I think it was Sleeping Beauty.
Okay.
And I think I played a ghoul. Humble brag. But I was a ghoul in Sleeping Beauty.
Put that on your resume. Love it.
That sort of thing. So,
that's great. I actually have a similar experience. My mom is also a writer, and I wouldn't call her not a professional illustrator, but she does do drawings too, which I love. And and I'm going to talk about one of my mom's favorite movies today too.
Awesome.
So
perfect. That's great.
We love, shout out to all the moms.
Yeah.
Do that a lot. Yeah. Do you remember what your first favorite movie was?
My baby movie was Shrek.
Yes.
I recently saw, I don't know what it was. I can't credit it because I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I saw some sort of video or compilation of people in the industry being asked, like around my age, being asked, like, what is the movie of your generation? What is the most informative piece of art or movie specifically that your generation has latched onto and has had so much of its character come from? And it's Shrek.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it's probably one of the most influential movies of the century.
I totally agree with you, actually.
It's this, like, in this, like, it is so deep within the roots of society even today. And I would I would have memories, right? And I would be told, like, I'd sit in my little what is it? The cage they keep children in the house, where it's like the thing on little legs that, like, is the
like the little,
what do you know what I'm talking about?
Prison. Pack and play.
Prison. The prison the children go into.
Yeah, it's like a playpen deal.
In front of the TV.
Yeah.
The playpen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jeez. But I stand there, arms on the railing, and Shrek all day long. And my mom would tell me she'd like go and, like, single mom raising me right at the time, going and doing work or doing something else in the other room, and Shrek would end, and then she'd hear ka-choo, ka-choo, and I'd reach over and push Shrek back into the VHS and hit stop rewind. I knew stop rewind since I was 2 years old.
Yeah,
because I needed
you had to keep
watch
Shrek going.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the best. And I totally agree with you. Like, we're about to have Shrek 5.
Yeah,
so
a lot of complicated feelings in the world about that right now.
Right, but like, it's lasted this long. It's like the merchandising they did around that, like, I really feel like set a standard in advertising for that, for sure. I feel like it was one of the first animated movies to have like a big celebrity cast too. Yeah. Which has continued on, but you're so right.
It blew up. It's ubiquitous with culture itself. Like, it says the Shrek ears, or the Shrek S, or Shrek in general as a character design is as Mickey Mouse is, as the Superman symbol is. Like, it's embedded within culture, and I think that's a super interesting thing. I also think it's fucking funny as hell.
Oh yeah, Shrek is great.
But I have friends who didn't grow up on Shrek and grew up on whatever else, who are like, man, you gotta let that go.
Yeah,
like, it's not. There's something really wrong with it, and I'm like,
need to embrace the
saying
Shrek.
There's something wrong with Shrek is saying there's something wrong with me, and I feel offended by that. Pretty harsh.
Did you know
Shrek
that
fact.
Mike Myers was not the original Shrek?
Have you heard? So it's so weird to hear Farley. Do you know this?
It was Chris Farley?
Chris Farley was Shrek. Yeah.
He passed away
and then he died.
Yep. Yeah.
That's how Mike Myers got the gig.
Wow.
You can find on YouTube like storyboarded voiceover of Eddie Murphy and Farley doing Shrek.
Which is so funny because like Mike Myers' Scottish accent is like famous, right? Like he did it in like So I Married an Axe Murderer and like all of that, right? Yeah.
Say, right? Like, I mean, it works in its own way. It's very different. But it works in its own way. It's really cool.
Totally different. Yeah, it's really neat. It's really, really cool.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, see? You learn new things every day.
Oh, man. Okay, so you and I met doing a play this year called The Pillow Man, which is... it's a play by Martin McDonagh, and sort of the log line of it is there's a writer who is taken in for questioning by the police because there's a series of child murders that match up with his stories. And you play the writer's brother, Michael, or you played Michael. I remember your audition. I think you read for 3 of the 4 parts.
Yeah.
It
was stressful. It was a stressful
And
night.
you were great in all of them. Like, truly, I could have seen you in all of them. But... So what was that like? All of the characters are very different. So there's Katurian, who's the writer, the main character. There's Michael, and then there were 2 cop characters. So like, what was your thought process like in that audition period? Because they're all very different people.
Well, and they all I mean, that I guess was my thought process, right? Is that they are all different people.
Yeah.
And so there's in my opinion, like, so what I am able to do is fits within 2 categories of acting. And I'm not implying that I am a movie star. I am not a movie star. But there is something of a movie star style of acting where it's like a good actor, but it's you. It's they are casting you because you are there.
Sure.
It is just within you, your personality, your cadence, your whatever.
A Jeff Goldblum,
exactly.
A Christopher Walken.
Right. I think it's a great example, right? And so like I'm thinking like, do I make these characters kind of a house style and kind of like put a little bit of a twinge on each of them, or do I approach each of them trying to be as different as possible? And I went with the second part, and I really appreciate you saying that I read well for all 3. I did not feel that way.
Oh, okay.
My Katurian audition, I did not feel like was very strong.
Ellen and I were like, Ellen Cribbs, our director, we were like, we're going to cast this guy. We're just not sure where yet. So just like, we'll just cast around you.
Ellen's so brilliant.
She really is. And I feel like, going back to what you're talking about character studies, like she really gave you guys time to really explore that. And in rehearsal, she would pause and be like, what's going on here? What's going on through your head? And I thought that process was just wonderful because so much of it is, what the hell are these people thinking?
Yeah. It's so important in a play like that where so much of the dialogue contains offensive content.
Yes.
Or can be interpreted that way.
Yeah.
And so many of the characters, there's 4, all of the characters in their own way, present sides of bad or screwed up people, if that like kind of a simple way to put it. or perfunctory, I should say. Maybe that was the right way to use that word. I'm not sure.
I'll allow it.
You think we're good, perfunctory?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Standards.
Yeah, thank you. But it's important to strike that balance of like, you're not the audience shouldn't really like the characters, and how could they, right? But you have to be able to see part of you, part of someone, be able to relate. I directed a play in college. Small tangent. I directed a production of Harvey in college.
Oh, sure. I just watched that movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And I adore the play, love the play, and I would love to get another crack at it, because I was so wrapped up in what Ellen was probably, I would imagine, what she had to think about was like, these characters, are they, in Harvey, they pertain a level of privilege, and which makes them sort of abrasive or cloying or insensitive. And there are similar characters in The Pillowman, right? It's so difficult to let the audience know that it's okay to be here watching this. There's a reason.
Yeah.
It's important. Here's why it's important. Let the actors do their job without believing that we are evil people for having put on the play.
A lot of feedback we got, like we did a talk back partway through the run, was that people were like not sure if they could laugh at the jokes or not too.
Yeah.
Because it's like this really heavy and not only are we talking about child murders here, but like one of them is acted out on stage and they're really graphic, and your character had a developmental disability too. And it's like, what am I allowed to do here, right? Even though it's like, no, this is funny. These jokes are funny. It's written in there to break up all of this very rough content to get through. But it's interesting the ways people interact or feel that they can or cannot interact with art. Yeah.
And I mean, that's part of what I'm going to be talking about today.
Yes.
But it's a Michael specifically. I told Ellen this, is that she called me, or she emailed me after the first night of auditions and asked me if I would come back and read as Michael, and I was like, that's the one I didn't put down, because I'm so freaked out. I'm so freaked out about that. Like, because there's so much baggage, there's so much characterization that like, am I right to do this? Am I in my right to do this? And how I present that is so careful. Yeah. But how she presented herself and how she presented her knowledge of the text at the audition made me feel at ease about that. Yeah. So I agreed, and I read for Michael like 3 times, and then the rest was history. Yeah.
You were the only Michael, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was like great and respectful, and it's like the story is that this is so dark. Michael is beaten so severely by his parents that he's stuck at a mental level of like 8 or 9. Yeah. So he's not like, a lot of people read and it was like baby talk or something like that, but it's like,
I didn't find that very appropriate.
Yeah, like he's like elementary school age, and he's also like a full-grown man. Like he's been through puberty. Like he, you had facial hair when you do this, as you did now, and like it's like you have to take all of that into consideration. Yeah, and it felt more like Michael is a full person, but he's just like more naive or innocent than like he doesn't have a speech impediment or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing in the play, I think a theme of The Pillowman is nothing is as what it seems to be. Yeah. And I think Michael is a perfect example of that. And that's what I wanted to do with my performance, is say like you hear about this brother who they repeatedly use the R slur to describe, and the audience knows they're going to see this character, and they may think one thing about how what this character is going to behave like, or what the actor is going to bring to it. And I wanted to bring it back down to reality rather than reach this sort of calamity of like, what is going to happen here? This is bad. They shouldn't be doing this play. He shouldn't be in this part. Bringing it back down to earth and saying like, these are the facts of his situation. This is what's going on. Right. He's a human being.
Yeah, exactly. It was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, today we are not talking about theater.
No.
We're talking about movies. We are doing a Nick Cage double feature,
Yes.
which I am so
Yes.
excited about.
So excited.
You are going first today. Would you please introduce your movie?
I would love to introduce my movie. Introduce my movie? I think is what I said. This movie is super, super special to me. I saw it one time around the time that it came out initially, and I was like, stone cold masterpiece, one of my faves, and I put it away. and I did that with certain other of my favorite movies as well. One of my favorite movies is Swiss Army Man. I don't know if you've seen this.
I have not seen it
It's
yet, no.
brilliant.
Okay.
And it was one of those things where it's like, wow, this blew me away, putting it away.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to deal with this anymore because I don't want it to get worse, or I don't want it to like have a different opinion of it, or I want to enjoy this. So I let this go for like years. And when you suggested we do this and you mentioned that I should do this movie, I was like, because it is in my Letterboxd top 4. I was like, slam dunk. That's awesome. And the movie is Pig. Pig. Distributed by Neon, who recently just won their Oscar for Anora.
That's right.
So
Neon's having a big year.
They're going to probably, I think A24 2 is coming with Neon.
Big time.
They've been around for a while, but this was released in 2021. It's directed and written by Michael Sarnowski. This was his first feature film, and he wrote and directed this movie. And I mean, I have a couple different people down here for in terms of the crew as well, that we'll get to eventually when I talk about. But the plot of this movie, starring Nicolas Cage and Alex Wolff of Hereditary.
I was going to ask, is that the same Wolf brother that did Hereditary? Okay, yes.
Oh, are there different brothers? Wait a
There's
minute.
Nat Wolf as well.
Oh shoot, I think it's Alex.
Mike, can you tell us which Wolf brother
Please, I don't want
was
to be
in
wrong.
Hereditary?
Checking. Sorry.
I don't want to be more wrong than I already am.
Hereditary. Alex Wolff was an American actor who appeared in Hereditary.
Okay,
Great, thank you. Same Wolf.
Same guy.
Great.
This was after Hereditary.
Born November 1st, 1997, and he is 27 years old. Sorry.
27? Wow. He's very, very talented. Someday I may be 27 as well, and I may be just as talented.
I'm already past 27, and here I am. So I just have this podcast.
You guys can both shut up, for the record.
Oh, somebody's 40. That's right.
43, Diana.
43. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was trying to give you some
Foot
grace there.
in the grave.
40 is the new 20, right? Is that what they say?
You're 24. You don't get to say that.
No, that's true. That's true. I have no leg to stand on.
I do, but my knees are really bad.
No, that makes sense. But this is a movie about, this is my little synopsis that I wrote. A professional chef named Robin Feld, who now lives as a recluse truffle hunter in the Oregon wilderness with his beloved truffle pig, goes on a reluctant journey to get her back when she is taken in the middle of the night. With the help of his client, the pretentious trust fund baby Amir, Robin braves the harsh culinary network of Portland, where he once ruled the scene, only to be faced with the shadows of his past life and past love. See,
great
that's
synopsis.
not on the DVD.
It's not.
No.
I just saw this movie last week for the first time. I just picked it up at the library. And the back of the DVD just says like he goes hunting for his pig who's been kidnapped. So you're like, okay, John Wick in the woods. But that's not what it is.
No, and you
at
expect
all.
it to be. Like when you hear about people, I don't know who is talking about this movie out in public except for me. Just like ringing my bell.
Hello, have you heard about Pig?
Have you heard about Pig? But it does appear that way, and you think of it as like, oh, well, this Nicolas Cage movie is like, oh, it's so interesting because he's such an interesting actor.
Yeah.
He's like this big, broad over actor. We'll get to that. And it's about this pig that's so funny and kind of I bet like it's going to be this crazy movie, and turns out that it's this heart-wrenching story of love lost and the half-life of talent itself is so like interesting. So to talk about this movie, I have to give a little bit of context about truffles and truffle hunting.
Please.
So truffles are what is basically like a little crunchy mushroom that grows in the ground in certain climates, I assume. The climate's similar to Oregon. And they're very, very rare. and they're expensive because the harvesting of truffles is pretty involved and pretty laborious. So per pound, truffles can go go for anywhere between $800 and $5,000 a pound. So if you go to like a fancy restaurant, like as they do in this movie, like there are dishes that have truffle in them, and it's kind of a trend to put truffle on something. It just makes it more expensive.
Right.
And like a truffle mac and cheese could cost like $33, which no mac and cheese costs $33. No, that's the people's food. It shouldn't cost more than
That's true. Don't make poor food fancy.
No, you should be able to, as an American citizen, you should be able to punch a card. As a human being, you should be able to punch a card.
Yeah.
And you get mac and cheese.
Agreed.
But not truffle mac and cheese. I'm not a fan of truffles. I don't know if
I'm not either.
You ever had this?
No, I love mushrooms, but I'm not a truffle gal. No.
It's a little much.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just don't have I have the mac and cheese palate. I don't have the
fair
truffle
enough.
palate.
Right.
But.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But the in for this movie is that the most well-known way of harvesting truffles is specially trained truffle pigs. The reason that pigs were used is because they feed on the truffles. Okay. So there's kind of this thing of like, should you be using the pig to hunt truffles if they want to eat them? I read a quote on Reader's Digest that's like, the most dangerous place to be is between a pig and a truffle because they want to eat it.
Interesting.
So what a lot of people who harvest truffles now use dogs and for pretty much the same purpose. So that's where we set our scene with Pig, is that he's an older gentleman who lives alone in the wilderness. The only people that he interacts with regularly are, if you call the pig a person, this pig, and Alex Wolff's character, who purchased the truffles off of him. In the movie, it's not clear that he gives him money. It seems like he gives him supplies.
Yes, it seems more like a trade deal.
Yeah. He gives him ingredients and batteries and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like he accepts money for the truffles. But these are the only two people he interacts with. And like I said, the pig is taken.
Yeah.
It's this horrible scene.
It is horrible.
Isn't it horrible?
We never learn the pig's name, right? Or if she has a name. But it's like she's just screaming throughout it
horrible.
honestly feels like a rape scene. In
certain ways, I think you could interpret it that way. It's taking something so profound from him.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I watched it with my girl dog Lola, who was like this big, and she was snuggled up next to me. So it's like same feeling. Like if someone ripped my dog away from me, I would do exactly what Nicolas Cage does in this movie, but with more violence.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah. More in violence. Nicolas Cage, despite, I would be fucking pissed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I swear on this podcast?
Absolutely, you can.
I would be fucking pissed, and I would kill people if this happened to me.
100%.
He takes a really more pacifist route.
Yes,
I think one of the strengths of the movie is that you spend so much time, at least on the initial watch, believing that he's going to do something nuts.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
Right, because he's like this crazy woods guy. He has this big beard and he doesn't talk to anybody.
Right,
You're
he
like,
looks
when
like
is he going
shit
to
the
snap?
whole movie.
Like, it just gets worse.
Right,
too.
it gets worse. I guess this brings me into something I want to talk about as it pertains to the design of this movie.
Yes.
So the costumes of this movie were designed by Jamie Henson. I looked at a lot of these folks' work, and they have worked, but I have not heard of anything that they've done. Okay. It seems like Pig might be the most recent notable thing that they've worked on. So Jamie Henson designs the costumes in this movie. Brilliant work. It's I think a lot of times costume designers who just have to design, who are tasked to design, I should say, contemporary clothes, I don't think they get enough credit. Sure. Because there's something undeniably impressive about building period clothes. Right. And making that fit into the whole world. But it's very, very similar with very intentional and very similar with contemporary clothes, I feel like. And something that she is able to do in this movie, along with the makeup designer whose name I don't have, and I wish now that I had put it down. But something that she's able to accomplish is Nicolas Cage starts the movie dirty and ends the movie dirty. He never gets clean.
No.
And he has opportunities to, and he never does. He, in fact, gets worse, like you said.
Yeah.
He gets bloodier, he gets dirtier and sweatier and grosser.
It just builds.
Right, and angrier. And a strength of this movie, and this is on the part of the director, but I'm crediting it to the costume designer as well as the production designer, Tyler B. Robinson, is that Nicolas Cage's character, Robin, looks shittier than anyone else in any frame of this movie. You can point him out no matter what. No matter what setting he's in, no matter what backdrop he's in, no matter who he's around.
Yeah.
There's no one that looks shittier than him at any time. And that's such a strong, intentional, great choice that does a lot of legwork for the character.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And like when he's like at home, it's like, okay, this is like a woodsman guy, which is like fine. But then they go looking for this pig in all of these like fancy restaurants that use these truffles, and it's like,
yeah, he does not get cleaned up.
No.
He's wearing his pajamas with high-waisted like coal miner pants and suspenders.
At one point they like are served food and he just like grabs it with his hands and eats it. And he's like he's not for any of the decorum
he doesn't
comes
care.
with these restaurants.
And that's such a strength of you know, it helps Cage so much. Not that he needs help; he's a great actor, and he's great in this movie. But it is such an aid to his character because you know what's going on with him at every point because you can see that he looks like shit no matter where he's in. The scene that he is, what is the name of the restaurant that he chews out the chef? Doesn't chew him out.
I think it's Eurydice.
Eurydice? It's so dumb. It's so stupid. Not Eurydice is not stupid. That story isn't stupid. But
I mean, like,
the whole concept of that.
We've talked about Hadestown on this podcast, but like the story of Eurydice is that she's so hungry that she dies. It's like, why would you?
It's so inappropriate.
Right. That's not. I don't think that's
such a good point. No, it's so appropriate. It's so inappropriate, I should say. And like the portions that they have are so pretentious and small.
Right.
Like
maybe that's the point, that you're going to starve if you go to this restaurant.
And you're just gonna eat, smoked truffles. Like the waitress pulls off
up the cloche,
the cloche, and it's like steaming, and he just sticks his thumb in the scallop. But in that scene specifically, there's so much. I think that's probably the best scene in the movie, in my opinion. Yeah. That's so much brilliant about that. Yeah. Alex Wolff's performance across from Cage is amazing. But in that scene specifically, you can see, like, he looks like fucking shit.
Yeah.
And it's so different from anything else around him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the scene where he has the monologue about none of this is real, right? Oh.
That's where he says,
such a great.
I'm literally goosebumps. We get so few things to really care about.
Yeah.
Or whatever, like that I should have written down the line, but like it's so gutting.
Yeah.
And this performance, for context, no spoilers, context in the movie, one of their stops to get this pig that leads them to this restaurant called Eurydice in Portland. That's like this super upscale, everything's white and gray and very, very I don't know, like the rich people furniture, like very modern,
minimalist, clean.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean minimalist. Whenever I see pictures of like rich people's homes, like Kim Kardashian's house, it's like, where is the stuff?
Why do you like this? Yeah, it's like there's no decorations. No. Like, how do you? It's a fake house that you take pictures of. You know,
it's very much
Airbnb.
That. Yeah.
And the restaurant is like this. Their journey leads them to this point, and not coincidentally, the dish that they are served at this restaurant is scallops with truffles. And we know that like this pig, he got the truffles from this pig having found the truffles, right? So he asks to speak with a chef, and the chef comes out, and this is named Derek, and this is an actor named David Nell, who's brilliant in this scene. And we learned that this Robin, the former professional chef legend, right? This was one of his former students, and he wants to know where the pig is, and he tears apart his whole his whole thing here is the owner, head chef of this restaurant, but he used to work for Robin as this, what is it, a prep cook that got fired after 2 months for overcooking pasta. And he has this monologue. Nothing matters. Yeah. These people don't matter. The critics don't matter. The customers don't matter. You wanted to open a real English pub, but now you do this crap. But he does it in such this calm, subtle way where he's not berating him. He's saying, I've learned over my time on this planet and in my years in exile that you need to do what you want to do and love who you want to love and what you want to love. And David Nell is able to deliver this performance in this one scene where you see him all come crashing down. Yeah. Brilliant one scene performance from him. Going way back, the juxtaposition of Robin against the rest of the backdrop is brilliant, is one of my favorite things about this movie. Yeah. And the juxtaposition further of like someone like, it doesn't just go for Robin, but like Alex Wolff's character Amir pulls up to his shack at the beginning of the movie in this yellow Camaro, blasting a podcast about classical music. And he gets out of the car and the pig goes and goes up to him and wants to sniff him and snorting around. And the first thing he says is, fuck off. And he immediately, shorthand, like you understand immediately what this character
like,
is
in this
about.
suit. Yeah.
Wolff is brilliant in this movie. There's another small, subtle choice that I love in this movie. Before I get to my big thesis about this, there's a detail where Robin walks in the middle of the street. You know what I'm talking about? Where like whenever he's walking anywhere, he doesn't have a car. He gets driven around by Amir the whole movie. He walks in the middle of the road. Yeah. And it's every single time. And it's such an easy choice to make that's so powerful. And like I said, does so much legwork. Because it frames him as something that's otherworldly. Yeah,
because that is exactly what you said, a choice you have to make, right? Yeah. A person walking down the street, you would say, okay, we're going to put them on the sidewalk, or we'll put them near the curb, like a person would walk down the street. Right. But that's not the choice that was made here. Yeah.
I love about this movie and about the screenplay is that it's so intentional. And making him walk in the middle of the road, having cars having to swerve around him. Right. As I was watching, I'm a big fan of monster movies. Original Frankenstein's monster, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. His movements and his mannerisms present like a creature feature. And like not only is he in all this makeup, because he is in the movie, like he's caked in all this crap. Like literally, I need to paint a picture for you. There is blood, dried blood, fresh blood streaming down his face at every point in this movie. Yeah. He looks like crap.
Yeah. We haven't even talked about it, but there's this one point where he basically goes to like Fight Club.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe I'm leaving out Fight Club.
I know, because he like, whatever, there's a long journey. His former friend or associate won't help him out, and he needs information and he needs money. So he goes to this like underground restaurant thing, and he puts his name up on the board, and people offer to just beat the shit out of him. Yeah. And that's what he does. So that's how he gets bloody for a lot of it. Just someone just absolutely wailing on him.
Yep. And he doesn't accept money for that. Right. He just wants information.
That's right.
And they're only able he never gets his answer until the end, and then we get the answer. But it's just step by step by step. But like I was saying, he feels like something monstrous. He's not evil. He doesn't hurt people in the movie as a point, right? But he does not operate with society. Right. And he's been removed so long that he's fallen so far from that. Yeah. It's just a brilliant piece of acting.
But it's like he used to be a part of it, so he sort of like knows what he's missing, but he doesn't feel like he's missing it. So it's not like he's like, you know, the Frankenstein is like shocked by touch or whatever, like he's not sure how to react to that. It's like he is very aware of everything that's happening.
He's a force of nature.
Exactly. He's made this choice to live this way. Yeah.
And he's constantly, throughout the film, people recognize him even under all of the mess and are astonished that you're like the most famous chef in this city. You were for a while. But he's also like belittled quite a bit by these people, right? Where he's like, there are people who revere him and kiss his ass a lot, like the Derek character in the Eurydice restaurant, but also the leader of the fight ring, like He's like, you're not fucking shit.
Right.
You're practically dead. No one cares about you, and
Yeah.
you're nothing.
Right.
And I think that there's something to that of like these people that he's meeting, trying to get his pig back. He's atoning in a way for like he was someone in a position of power who could have behaved rashly, abusively. You know, there's this chefs. Professional chefs, there's this stereotype that they tend to be very intense people. And someone with the level of fame that Robin is, that could make sense.
Yeah.
Right. You know, so you're on the gamut of different reactions to him, but he's steadfast throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
He opens up a little bit throughout, but he's steadfast through the whole thing.
Yeah.
I could talk for 6 more hours about how brilliant Cage is in this movie.
Yeah, he's great.
I don't even know where to begin, but I will move on to my kind of thesis of this movie.
Yeah.
Pig is a love story in a similar way. Walk with me. A similar way that The Holdovers is a love story, in that it's about love, but not necessarily the love between two people in a relationship or two people caught up in romance. There are elements of that, but the point in which the audience enters the movie Pig is a point after loves have been loved already, and we're dealing with the aftermath of a lot of that.
Sure.
So we see the aftermath of Robin's love for the person who he lost in his life. The song at the very end of the movie is so sad.
Yeah.
Watch Pig. Watch Pig. Watch Pig. We see the complicated love Amir has for his distant father. And we see Derek's dream of opening a real English pub, like as Robin's talking to him in that restaurant, telling him like, you need to go do what you want to do.
Yeah. And
you've already lost part of that of yourself by not doing it.
Yeah.
You feel the love for his dream resurrected in that moment. So the loves we do see in real time are Robin's love for cooking and Robin's love for the pig.
Yes. I was going to say there are a couple of scenes in here where Robin is cooking and it's just like, it's almost like a totally different tone from the movie. And I think that, well, obviously that's intentional. And the movie's only like an hour and a half. So everything in it is like, there's no filler. It is just what that is. And it's just like slow shots of like, he's making like this pie crust and he's like pressing the flour and the butter together. And it's like, this is someone that loves what he is doing.
Yes.
Like, even though he's left that professional world, that doesn't mean that he stopped cooking and baking.
And there's a shot at some point toward the end of the movie where it pans across the shelves in his house for the first time, and you realize like he has all of these ingredients to cook. It's still a part of him, but he's keeping it so private now.
Right.
The point of that being, and my theory is, so we see his love for cooking, we see the love for the pig. So at the second act of the film, we learn that Robin doesn't actually need the pig, which is never given a real name.
Right.
He does not need the pig to find the truffles. And he said, and I don't know if there's a spoiler issue. Do with that what you will. But he does not need the pig to find the truffles. He could find them himself just as easily. He tells Amir that the reason he's gone on this journey to get her back is because he loves her.
That was my favorite
And it's so
part.
sad. It's so sad and lovely. And the pig is all he has.
Yeah, that's all, and that's literally all he says too. Like Amir says, "Why are we doing this?" Then?
I love her.
And he says, "Because I love her."
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah,
it's like
wow.
Yeah.
So it's worth mentioning too that the 2 times we see Robin cook, he's cooking for someone else and eating with them. Keeping this in mind, I realized that this most recent watch, the joy Robin once found in cooking comes from getting to share his talent with people.
Sure.
He says that he never forgets he remembers every person he ever cooked for during his time as a chef. My point. In times like these, artists are having a lot of conversations about why we make the art that we do, how we can keep making the art that we want to make, and what kind of world there will be to make all the art in. So in the midst of all these changes and injustices and mysteries, I think that it's important, and Pig taught me this last night. I've had a feeling, but this was something that I just seen so clearly. We take our ego and our wanting out of the equation as best we can, as long as we are making art for people, and as long as we keep others in mind and in heart when we make art, like goodness stands a chance that way.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and Robin's cooking is so, I think we learned that it's so selfless, and he wants to bring joy to people.
Yeah. Wow. That's beautiful. This is why I wanted to do this podcast. I say this every time, but it's like that statement alone and just talking to you about how passionate you are about this, this is wonderful.
And I talked forever.
No, that's fine. So, okay.
Please.
First of all, I want to say I love what Nick Cage is doing with his career lately. I loved this. I liked Long Legs too, another Neon release.
I liked him in Long Legs.
I liked The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Is that good? I
thought it was
seen
fun.
That. People like that movie a lot.
I like Pedro Pascal too.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
It's a good time. But yeah, I like how he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna be this weird guy in movies now, and it's like, yeah, man, go for it.
That's his thing. That's what he does.
So, a question I had for you is, this is in your Letterboxd top 4.
Okay.
For me personally, if I'm gonna mark something as like one of my favorite movies, I have to get some sort of sense of like comfort from it. So, what's your criteria for this is one of my favorite movies?
For Pig specifically?
For Pig specifically, or like I'm trying to think of your top 4, like Planet of the Apes is on there, and it's like, so I wouldn't call these like cozy movies that I'm gonna watch when I feel sick or something like that.
I think that for me, if my top 4 is rotating, Swiss Army Man is always in the top 4. It's always number 1. Right now it's Swiss Army Man, Planet of the Apes, a movie called With Nail and I, which is a great movie. You should watch that movie. And Pig right now. In the past, it's been Swiss Army Man, Mad Max Fury Road, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Blair Witch Project. So I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's for different reasons. I think the commonality between all of these totally different movies is that there's something profound to me about each of them, but in their specific way.
Sure.
I like, and there's obviously it's extremely curated, like it's social media, right? But the reason that like, you know, a lot of people use the Letterboxd top 4, and I think this is a great tool as a way to express yourself, right? Like this is me. This runs. These may not be my top 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in order, but there are things that represent me.
Yeah.
And my interests, and I think that with each of the movies, there's something chillingly profound and lovely about all of them. Even if it's something horrible and nauseating like the Blair Witch Project,
right? Or
something that's a little more saccharine and sweet like Kiki's Delivery Service. I watched Pig twice this week, and it's so gorgeous. And it's cozy, and Sarnowski is able to shoot the Oregon wilderness, if that's where he shot on, and Portland so excellently, and captures so much love and goodness. And it is a story about love and goodness, even if it's grim and sad. Sarnowski went on to direct Quiet Place Day 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which I am a fan. It's a lot of similarities between that and Pig. A lot of similar sensibilities.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
But that's my reason.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for bringing this movie.
Thank you.
To the pod.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a little tone shift.
Cool. Yes.
Nick Cage here. My movie is Moonstruck.
Yes. I have to let you talk. I love this movie.
I'm so glad this was your first time seeing this movie. So I have, it's one of my mom's favorite movies, if not her all-time favorite movie. Hi, Barb. I'm sure I've seen it in the womb. I did not watch it twice this week because I don't have to. It's in here.
Perfect, exactly.
Okay, so this movie premiered December 18th, 1987. It was written by John Patrick Shanley, and it was directed by Norman Jewison, who I have to stop already. I don't know why Norman Jewison isn't talked about in like the great...
He did a lot of movies.
He did some incredible movies. This man never won an Oscar. Also famous for The Thomas Crown Affair, Jesus Christ Superstar, Fiddler on the Roof, In the Heat of the Night. This man does not
Very
have an
famous
Oscar.
movies.
My man is Canadian, though. Did receive the Order of Canada.
All right.
He also created the Canadian Centre for Advanced Film Studies, which was later renamed the Canadian Film Centre.
Oh my gosh.
Which
he's a big deal.
I know. Which produced over 1,700 alumni, and 100 film companies have come out of the Canadian Film Centre.
Wow.
So definitely left his mark on film.
Yeah.
John Patrick Shanley is also famous for Joe versus Volcano.
Really?
Yeah.
I love
Written and directed. Yeah. Doubt, the play and the movie. Alive, which I didn't know, the movie about the soccer players in the Andes.
Oh my gosh.
John Patrick Shanley wrote that screenplay. A play called Outside Mullingar. He has a Tony and a Pulitzer for Doubt and an Oscar for Moonstruck.
Wait, which Oscar?
Screenplay.
It's a great screenplay.
Yeah,
It's
excellent
a great
screenplay. Some other notable awards this movie has gotten. It grossed $122.1 million on a $15 million budget. Oscars for Cher, Olympia Dukakis, and John Patrick Shanley. It's on Roger Ebert's Great Movies list. It's on AFI's Top 10 Romantic Comedies, and it's in the Criterion Collection. Wow. So, yeah, great movie.
Great.
So I'll introduce the characters here, and then we can go into the story. So the cast is Cher as Loretta Castorini, Olympia Dukakis as her mother Rose, Vincent Gardenia as her father Cosmo, Danny Aiello as her fiance Johnny Camilleri, and Nicolas Cage as his brother Ronnie. Nicolas Cage. This movie and Raising Arizona came out in the same year.
Really?
Big Nick Cage
Yeah,
year.
that's huge for him.
Big
Wow.
Nick Cage love interest year for sure.
Yeah. Who's his love interest in Raising Arizona?
Holly Hunter.
Young Cage, man.
I know.
Like he was 23 when Moonstruck was made. I looked that up yesterday.
Was he?
23.
Wow.
If I'm wrong about that, I'm wrong about that. What do we got?
This came out 87.
87.
The verdict is, in 1987, when the movie Moonstruck was released, Nicolas Cage was 23 years old.
23.
His co-star Cher was 40.
Yeah, she was. Go Cher.
Yeah. Looks 20. Looks 23.
She is a vampire for
can't-
sure.
I
Even
can't-
now, she looks like
Yeah.
maybe 35.
Yeah.
All right. So the one-sentence synopsis of Moonstruck is: a superstitious young widow is about to settle for a man she doesn't love until she meets his brother, and her world is turned upside down. So, I think it's baked in me from my mom, but I have this love of rom-coms, especially from this era, like late 80s into early 2000s, right? Like the Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan era. And there's just something about like a low stakes comfort movie that I just love, especially with a cast and crew like this. Like it just takes it to the next level for sure. So, yeah, I'll get into here. Okay, so Loretta, she's an Italian-American widow. She works as a bookkeeper, and she lives in Brooklyn Heights with her parents, Cosmo and Rose, and her paternal grandfather. I love Grandpa.
Grandpa's awesome.
I love him so much. He has like 18 dogs, and he walks them all at the same
I was
time.
watching this with my girlfriend, and she was like, every time the dogs were on screen, she was like, "That's a lot of dogs. That's a lot of dogs."
It is, and he like walks them like at night, and they're all like
in the middle of the
howling at the
night.
moon.
Yeah.
A great line from Rose. This is one of my favorite lines. She says, "Old man, you give those dogs another piece of my food, I'm gonna kick you till you're dead." Great line. So Loretta's boyfriend, Johnny Camilleri, and they're always first name, last name. He's always Johnny Camilleri. He's very rarely
hell of
just
a name.
Johnny.
Yeah.
I know. He proposes to her before leaving for Sicily to tend to his dying mother. He like proposes in this restaurant, but all he has is his pinky ring, and so she like has to shove it on herself. It's like not romantic at all. So she accepts, but she insists on carefully following tradition, as she believes that failing to do so led to her first husband's sudden death after they were only married for 2 years. He got hit by a bus. So she's like, we have to do the right thing. We're gonna get married in a church, not at City Hall. This is happening. But Johnny is sort of like waiting for his mother to die before they can continue through all of this.
Oh, I didn't. That's such a good. Yeah. Just had never thought about that. Like that he's waiting for her to die.
Yeah.
So that she's not on his ass and
Right.
completely strung out about that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So before he goes, Johnny asks Loretta to invite his estranged brother, Ronnie, to the wedding. And Ronnie and Johnny have not spoken in 5 years. So, Loretta goes home that night and she tells her parents that she's engaged. Cosmo, her dad, runs a successful plumbing business, and so he has money, but he dislikes Johnny, and he doesn't want to pay for Loretta's real wedding. He also has this great scene that I also quote all the time, where he's visiting some clients that he's like doing a plumbing quote for, and he's talking about the different types of pipes that he used, and he says, and then there's copper, which is the only pipe I use. It costs money. It costs money because it saves money. Use that all the time. We got copper pipe on one of our baths recently, and I told my mom immediately because it was like a thing.
Well, then that moment with his clients immediately cuts to him at the restaurant.
Yes.
With his mistress.
Yes.
And he's saying the same thing. Where he loves to talk about plumbing.
Yes, he does.
He knows so much about it.
He has this line about the copper. You know, he uses it all the time with everybody. He's like, this is it. This is why I use this. You're gonna, it's so good. So then she goes, Loretta goes to her mom and tells her, and she tells her mom, her mom asks her, so do you love him? And she says, no, Mom, I don't love him. And she says, oh, that's good. She says, real, true love can cause romantic partners to be easily hurt by each other. So then the next day, Loretta goes to see Ronnie. Ronnie works at this bakery, and he has a wooden hand because he got it caught in a bread slicer when he was having a conversation with his brother Johnny. It's so funny.
It's subtly one of the funniest things.
Because he like has gloves on, he pulls it off, and it's just like very wooden.
It's so ridiculous. It's so
and
funny.
After he had this accident where he lost his hand, his fiance left him. And again, great Cage monologue. I lost my hand. Iconic. I lost my bride. Johnny has his hand. Johnny has his bride. Want me to take my heartbreak, put it away, and forget? This is all off the dome.
It's your Shrek.
It is my Shrek. Moonstruck is my Shrek.
Cool.
I love Shrek too.
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck. Shrek should do like parodies of other movies.
Why are we doing Shrek 5? We should just have Shrek do Abbott and Costello meet Moonstruck, meet the Avengers. No, that's a great idea.
Okay, let's pool our money together and buy the Shrek franchise. And
okay,
then we can do
I have
whatever
$7.
Great, yeah. Mike?
How much money you got?
6.
Okay,
all right, that's a start.
That's over 10.
Okay, great, perfect.
That's millions of dollars.
Okay,
Yeah.
So this is all at the bakery while he's screaming at her about his lost hand. So she's like, okay, maybe let's go somewhere privately. So he lives upstairs in like an apartment above the bakery. So they go up there. She makes a mistake. He said, I like it well done. She said, you'll eat it bloody to feed your blood. I don't know what that means, but that's what she says.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then she compares him to a wolf that's going to gnaw off his paw to escape a trap. And then they have sex because that's where this is going.
Yeah.
And then the morning after, he tells her that he's in love with her. And that's where the very famous snap out of it comes from.
Yep, absolutely.
Oscar-winning moment.
Did she win the Oscar?
She did.
Wait, I should have looked up Oscars. This is my mojo.
Yes.
What are the Oscars
So
on this?
so Cher won for leading actress, Olympia Dukakis won for supporting actress, and John Patrick Shanley won for original screenplay.
That's great. I was literally wondering that. I was watching it, then I went to bed. Diana will tell me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know I will.
Cool.
So where are we here? So there's also that evening, there's like a big moon outside, and this is the moon that the family is saying that when Cosmo was young and courting Rose, this is like Cosmo's moon, and there was a big moon at night when they were doing that as well. So that's what the Moonstruck, where that title comes in. So the next morning, we get snap out of it. Loretta's not feeling very good about this. She just cheated on her fiance, who was in Sicily visiting his dead mother, and they have like cutaways to Sicily, and the mother's like screaming in the bed.
So funny. Well, let me ask. So I was having this thought as you were explaining and talking about Danny Aiello. How do you pronounce his name?
Yep, Aiello.
Aiello. He's obviously very. He's very kind of glib and plain and nervous in this movie. But here's the question. Hot or not? Because he's with Cher. So what do we think about Johnny in this movie? He's a handsome guy.
I mean, he's like fine. Yeah, I don't think he's repulsive.
Are any of the men in this movie Cher worthy though? Is young Cage? This is my question to my girlfriend all night. I was like, is this
interesting?
This
yeah,
work?
I think Johnny's appeal is that he is exactly that. He is plain and he is stable. He's not exciting. She doesn't love him, but he's probably got a good job.
Yeah.
He's like wearing a suit to the restaurant.
Yeah.
She's like, this is fine. I can make a life out of this. I have my job. He has his job. He's probably not going to cheat on me.
Right.
He's just, we're
Yeah,
going
I don't
to
think you
live
should,
this life of
Johnny.
friendship and that'll be fine. It'll
Yeah.
be companionship and probably not anything else. And maybe she wants to avoid that. Maybe she had that with her first husband who died and she's like, okay, well, I had that chance at that and I blew it because I did whatever, got married at City Hall or whatever. So this is what is meant for me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go plain and boring and that's fine.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But then I think she sort of resigned herself to that. And then when Ronnie comes on the scene and he's like, he is a wolf, right? He's a little bit more ferocious. And she's like, oh,
I'm very passionate.
very passionate.
He feels so animated in not the same way that she is, but maybe the same level. Where
Yes.
she has a very specific sort of mannerism and cadence to her, and so does he.
Yeah.
He's completely unhinged.
Yeah. And then you find out he is really into opera. This Baker who's wearing a wife beater like at all times.
He's so sweaty.
He's so sweaty. That's hilarious that he was only 23 in this.
That's crazy.
But that does make sense. And he loves opera. And so Loretta doesn't want to see him anymore, but he says, please, for me, one time, let's go to the Met and see La Boheme. She has a very famous line where she says, where's the Met? As if she doesn't know where the Met is. She's born and raised in Brooklyn. So they go see La Boheme. Oh, she gets this like makeover, which is actually kind of nice. Sometimes I have a problem with makeover scenes where it's like ugly girl takes off her glasses and she becomes pretty, but it's very much just enhancing what she sort of already has.
Well, it's absolutely clear that this character and Cher, but this
Right.
character is like completely gorgeous and alluring before then.
Right.
We were watching it and my girlfriend was like, "Oh my god." like, she gets the hair done
Right.
and like
She says,
the dress,
"Take out the
like,
gray."
wow,
Yeah.
Wow.
So they go to the opera. She's very moved by it. She's crying at La Boheme. It's very sad. But while she's there, she sees her dad with his mistress. And they sort of have this moment where they look at each other and they're like, both of us are not with the person we're supposed to be with right now. And they sort of, make this pact that they're not going to tell anybody about this. So Loretta tries to go home, but Ronnie says, one more time. And then they have sex again. So I don't want to give away the ending, but it goes how you think a rom-com is gonna go. So yeah, what were your thoughts on it? Because this was your first time seeing
My
this
first
movie
time.
this week. Yeah.
Well, I was telling you off mic, like there's a certain class of movie that I just avoid because people tell me to watch them so often.
Sure.
And that's my problem. That's not anyone else's problem but mine. And this was one of them. And I was telling you, I was like, I finally have like homework and I'm going to watch this.
Sure.
And I was blown away. I did not know what I thought it was going to be, but it exceeded it in every way.
Yeah.
There's something I think that is similar to Pig and not because of Cage, but it's so tender.
Yeah.
And there is a strong sense of it has a strong sense of identity. I'm not a prolific rom-com watcher, but this tells me that although there are a lot of tropes, it does stand apart in certain ways.
Yeah.
It's about a different kind of people. Like, this family unit. She's not like this young blonde actress that was pulled off the streets of LA when she was 16. Like, she's like this established movie star sensation who's in this interesting situation with a much younger man. It's so fascinating. And it's so funny.
Yes.
Laughing out loud. I have not laughed out loud at a movie as much as I've laughed at Moonstruck. So long.
Yeah,
So long.
it's so good.
Yeah.
I really suggest people, if you haven't seen these movies in a long time, revisit this movie. I have some other favorite rom-coms here. Crossing Delancey and My Big Fat Greek Wedding are sort of like, it's like white ethnic equivalents to this. So Moonstruck is like Italians and Crossing Delancey is Jewish folks and My Big Fat Greek Wedding is Greek people. But it's like there's a rom-com for everybody in there. 13 Going on 30 is great. You've Got Mail, That Thing You Do. Have you seen That Thing You Do?
I haven't.
Giving you homework.
That
Watch
Thing
That
You
Thing
Do.
You Do.
Okay.
It's like basically the story of the Beatles, but like fictionalized.
No, I've been told about this.
Yes,
Okay.
and Tom Hanks wrote and directed it.
Yes. Cool.
So good.
Cool.
Liv Tyler, amazing.
Great.
I also feel, especially lately, the romantic comedies that come out are more like sex comedies, like especially sort of the post Superbad era. I think there are definitely still beautiful romances being made. I said, see Past Lives or Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Past Lives.
Yeah. Have you seen? Yes. You're agreeing? Yeah. So good. But I see fewer and fewer like Meg Ryan style PG comedies. And this is one of them. Like Ronnie and Loretta have sex, but you don't see it. It's just like you see them in bed after and nobody's naked or anything.
But it's not chaste. It's very sexy movie, but it's not about the sex. It's about other parts of their relationship.
Right. And I feel like I almost didn't want to say this because I sound like such an old lady. It's like, I don't want to see people's naked bodies. Like, whatever. If there's a reason to be naked, then there's a reason to be naked. But like, this is a movie you can, like, I can watch this movie with my mom. That's fine. Yeah. It's not weird. Well, right?
That's an interesting debate. Like, there's this kind of onslaught of complaint of people, of, you know, folks who go to the movies like everything feels kind of sexless. And I think that they're like with everything, especially in art like this, you know, when you want to make a well-balanced movie and you want to have a well-balanced what is the word? The well-balanced crop of movies, climate of movies. You know, it's about intentionality.
Yeah.
Something like I recently saw Sinners.
Oh, did you like it?
I loved Sinners.
I have not seen it yet.
I loved Sinners.
I'm excited about it. Yeah. And
it uses sex very intentionally. And it's effective. It doesn't feel like something that they had to put in the movie to sell tickets. It feels like it's a part of the story, and it is a part of the story.
Yeah.
And in the same way that I feel like sex and having sex is touched on in Moonstruck. Right. But like I said, it's about so many other parts of these people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, what were my other things? Oh, Nick Cage is great in this movie. We're talking about Nick Cage today. I said he brings this intense Nick Caginess to it, but he's also like this wounded puppy who has been hurt so severely that he's afraid to ever approach love again, even though it's the thing he needs most desperately.
He's so pathetic.
He's
so pathetic.
He's like begging her to stick around at all times, basically. Yeah. And Ronnie and Loretta, I think, have this in common. They've both lost what they thought was love of their life and have this intense heartbreak. Only Loretta is settling and Ronnie is not. She is going to settle for Johnny. And then he said, no, I'm going to be alone until this happens. Right? Raising Arizona, I talked about that. And I think he's just doing weird things now that we sort of forget that he was totally worthy of being this love interest. Yeah. And there's this whole other part of his career that is not long legs. And
and this is so firmly in the mid 80s. Like he was in things before this, not much, but he was like
Valley Girl.
He was in things and I have something on this and about the legacy of Cage, if you'll humor me.
Please.
So there's a point. Have you seen the movie Hot Frosty?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I've heard all about it, but
Hot Frosty is a movie camera where it's a Hallmark movie where
it's Ted from Schitt's Creek.
He's scary in this. Not scary in Schitt's Creek. Very handsome in Schitt's Creek.
Sure.
In Hot Frosty, he's scary. And he's not. He's good in Schitt's Creek. He's not good in this movie.
Okay.
He's trying his best.
And is it Lacey Chabert is in it too?
Yes.
Okay.
From Mean Girls and 1,000 Hallmark
I was going to say
movies.
that's all she does now.
Right.
I think is that
But I saw his movie and I was so this guy Russell Hainline wrote Hot Frosty.
Okay.
And he's a working writer in Hollywood, and he writes movies like Hot Frosty.
Okay.
And I was so perplexed by his movie that I followed him on Letterboxd.
She said, I got to see what's in this guy's head.
And in his top 4, there are like, I'm not trying to dox you, Russell. I respect the hell out of you.
Get that bag.
I did not like your movie Hot Frosty, but that does not mean that you are untalented in any way. Don't listen to me. But like in his top 4, there are like Looney Tunes shorts. I like Looney Tunes, but like anyway,
Top 4? Yeah,
top 4
interesting.
of like pillars of storytelling.
I know. I am so fascinated by people's top 4 because mine is like Singing in the Rain, Stop Making Sense, It's a Wonderful Life, and I can't remember my 4th one. Hold on.
That's a great 3, though.
Thank you.
It's a great 3. Wonderful Life is not overrated.
Oh,
it gets better every
All
year.
That Jazz is my 4th.
Yes,
Yes.
You talked about that.
Yes, on the first episode I did.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, All That Jazz is
Yep.
excellent.
I think you're reminding me. I want to watch that. I did not see it.
Yeah, okay. That Thing You Do, All That Jazz.
Okay,
That's a
2
great
movies.
double feature,
Cool.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm down for double features.
Yeah.
I usually have enough energy to watch a second movie after a first one.
Yeah, and
You
they're
ever notice
both.
that?
Yeah, oh yeah. I do a lot of double feature days.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I have nothing to do, that's like a 4 or 5 movie day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I wish.
Yeah.
But he wrote this review of Pig on his Letterboxd, a couple excerpts from this that I thought like completely distill my own feelings about it, and I would not be able to talk about it without completely aping off what he said. So I'm just going to write what he said.
Please.
I'm going to read what he said. Russell Hainline, July 17th, 2021, about Pig. The perception of Cage is two-pronged. He's somehow both the overactor, the guy who cares too much, goes too hard, and gets too weird for the sake of being weird, and the paycheck actor, the guy who doesn't care at all, shows up and phones it in. These dueling, inaccurate views of Cage have led to this idea that he's a bad actor, or to those who can't divorce themselves from irony long enough to engage earnestly with a leading man experimenting with form, a so bad he's good actor. Which is bizarre considering from the mid-'80s to mid-'90s, he was viewed as an electrifying actor. And that's how I feel about him in Moonstruck. It's like, he's electric when he's on screen. One of the best actors of his generation, etc. Even well into the 2000s, he was delivering indisputable award-worthy performances. Yes, he started appearing in more direct-to-video crap after that, but so did Ben Kingsley and Anthony Hopkins and a sea of other actors, and you don't see people dismiss them as bullshit. Something that was interesting as well, he's skipping ahead in it, he's seen a lot of Cage's best performance in years about Pig, as if he hasn't given several terrific, bold performances over the last decade. But really, more than anything else, it's the best casting of Cage in years. Movie stars so infrequently get great roles where the aura of their public persona lends additional weight so seamlessly to the character they're playing. The role is a great one because of Cage, but Cage is also as great as he is because of the role. It's a wonderful marriage, and the results are indelible. Nice one, Russell. That's a great quote.
That's probably better than all of Hot Frosty.
Well, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I will follow you on Substack, Russell. But when I was watching Moonstruck, I was thinking to myself, like, of that point of, like, I have a perception of him that someone watching Moonstruck when it came out in 1987 did not have of him. And I was able to enjoy his performance so deeply because of the context that I have, not in spite of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's brilliant, and these movies are brilliant.
Wonderful. We love you, Nick Cage.
Nick Cage is great. Are you going to invite him on the pod? Now's your time. Now's
Nick
your time
Cage, if for whatever reason this shows up on your feed, you have an open invitation to Two Show Day to talk about whatever you want. But I will ask about Cher. Please know that.
Yeah, it's pretty
I think
important.
we have to.
Pretty important.
And if that pig had a name.
Yes.
I want to know what that pig's name is. Like IRL, what that pig's name is.
Right. Like, is there a way to know? Can we get this information what the name of the pig and the pig actor was?
I had to search a couple of times because like Babe kept coming up and I was like, pig movie.
Well,
and
the internet's like, you want Babe, right?
Right. This is the movie you want?
You want Babe? You're thinking of Babe.
That's the only pig movie.
It's one of those. It's one of those movies that is impossible to Google.
Right.
Pig.
Nope. Pig movie. Nope. Pig movie. Nicolas Cage. Okay.
Okay. Now I understand what you're saying.
This says that he refers to her as Brandy.
Really?
You know, I would take the internet for what it's worth, but it says because it also says Pig did not have the name Pig in the movie. The pig's name is Brandy. Nicolas Cage's character refers to her as Brandy, while the movie initially calls the pig simply Pig. It's later revealed that her actual name is Brandy.
Is that from Google AI or is that a trusted source?
That is Google AI pulling it in from looks like Roger Ebert, who's definitely not a person who reviewed this because he's dead.
His website.
But his website, yeah.
His estate has reviewed Pig and said that
Eater.com also claims.
Maybe the Amazon Prime subtitles are really, really bad, and he's been saying Brandy, but it can't. I've been saving it. I wanted to get 70 minutes into recording before I busted out the impression. Yeah.
Great. Well, we don't have to have him on now. We'll just put you in darkness, and you can just do the Nick Cage voice.
Get the blood and get the. I want the hand, and I want all the Robin.
Perfect. Both of these
stuff.
movies together.
Yeah.
In a wife beater.
That's perfect.
With the hand, bloody face.
Yeah.
Great.
For my second appearance on the podcast, I'm just clocking it in. Don't hold me to that. But I will come in full costume next time.
I can't wait.
Great.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
this was
you.
so fun.
Oh my God, I'm so psyched. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Can I have a second to plug?
Yes. Oh, please plug away.
Okay?
Absolutely.
What am I gonna plug? Here's what I'm gonna plug, because I had something in mind, right? Mm-hmm. And then I let me do it, and then I forgot. Okay. Hello. I'm opening a coffee shop in Burnt Hills, New York, called The Archive. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Archive Burnt Hills. Follow us along there. We don't have an opening date yet, but it will be sometime in May, hopefully very soon.
Yes.
I would love it to be very soon. I don't know when this episode is supposed to come out. It might already be open.
Yeah, it'll come out in May. So.
Okay, great. So
go to the socials right now.
Go to the socials right now and check it out and give us a follow and come visit me, and I will talk about Nicolas Cage with you at the counter.
Wonderful. What's your favorite coffee drink?
Iced Americano.
Okay.
It's all trendy right now. What about yours?
I love a latte.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic. Oh yeah, real milk.
Real milk.
I am a whole milk girl.
Wow.
Till I die.
It makes me feel like I'm going slow motion in a video game, like I'm Mario walking through mud. That's what whole milk makes me feel
I'm
like.
truly convinced that drinking Canadian milk did something different to me.
Wow.
And I can stand it now.
It's probably better milk than the milk they have in America.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Great. I can't wait to visit.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Two Show Day is hosted by Diana Shabai Booker. It's executive produced by Diana and Collaborative Studios. It's produced and edited by me, Michael McCord. It's recorded at Open Stage Media Studios and distributed by Collaborative Studios. Any opinions expressed herein are not necessarily the opinions of Open Stage Media, Collaborative Studios, Proctor's Collaborative, or any of its affiliates or partners. If you would like to become a part of the Collaborative Studios network, please contact us at collaborativestudios@proctors.org.